Are you a patient of mine? I'm sorry. I should know that.
I'm here to ask you about something.
Do you cover your face because you were hurt? The afflictions we treat here are more common than anyone likes to admit.
I'm not here for treatment. I'm looking for Anton Sokolov.
Sokolov? Yes, he was here for a short time, but she took him away to see Kirin Jindosh. Do you hear something?
What about the Crown Killer? A patient of yours?
The Crown Killer? That name came from the newspapers. I'm afraid I don't... Oh yes, the murders. I was in Dunwall, studying diseases found among whaling crews. Wait, did someone just call me? I've been forgetting things. The Crown Killer is an interesting case. I feel almost sure I could help with that. It's just, I used to do such good work and now my memory is failing me. Who is that calling me? Excuse me.
And so slowly all the pieces start falling together.
We don't get visitors very often. Only one recently. Oh, who was it? I forget. Are you with the Grand Guard?
I'm sure some people figured it out very early, and some people didn't figure it out until the actual twist itself was made obvious.
It's terribly wrong. But I can't put my finger on it.
But once you're in her office and everything is made clear.
I wonder what she would say about this.
You did well finding Anton.
I can hear her whispering.
My friend. The old man was
down
with
in a
Kirin
well.
Jindosh, who was prying him apart, digging out all his secrets, adding Sokolov's knowledge to his own. Who knows what wonders of natural philosophy Jindosh will reveal in future days.
Terrible killings.
For you to come out
So
once
much
again.
blood.
Time
So
to
much
play.
meat.
We have need for your special talents. The good doctors do for a trip to Dunwall because Ichabod Boyle is next on the list. Make haste and make this one messy.
Why are you so
The newspaper is
damn
something to write
timid?
about and give the
You
people of the
little
Empire
mouse.
fodder for their nightmares.
Dear friend. So, Hypatia is the Crown Killer, or sort of. And the Crown Killer's name itself would obviously be also Alexandria, but if you use the heart on her, you find out that she calls herself, or thinks of herself, as Grim Alex, which is a pretty cool name. There's some stuff here in her office, or laboratory I suppose you can call it, but really the main thing of interest here is Vasco. We find lying here pretty damn injured.
What's wrong with you?
Dr. Hypatia did this. She's the Crown Killer. But she's not herself. She developed a serum trying to help the miners. The first version caused horrible changes to her mind. It's too late for me, but maybe you can still save her. She's a good person.
What can I do?
In my safe, in disease treatment, you'll figure out how to make the counter serum help her. The safe code is 587.
I've always wondered what your flesh tastes like, my dear assistant.
I'm impressed how they make Grim Alex feel and move so different than Hypatia herself. It's pretty good. So now you're faced with the choice of if you want to
She's gone.
cure her or kill her. This is one of the cases where I feel like the high chaos option is just needlessly brutal.
I hate the smell in here. Sickness, weakness, fear. My sister's prison.
There she is.
They should have let me take the Vice Overseer. But no, the Duke's a coward.
It just feels like it would make more sense to find out everything and also possibly gain yourself an ally, rather than just kill her. So now I need to go back to Vasco's safe and pick up the ingredients needed to make this counter serum, which he's been working on for a while. The exact details on how long he's been alive, kept there as a little torture toy for Grim Alex, and how Alexandria, in her normal state, has managed to convince herself that he's gone and isn't back there, well,
Hopefully it's inside.
that remains a little bit of a mystery. But the power of self-delusion is strong. And I imagine Hypatia is very confused and can overlook a lot of things when she doesn't want to confront the truth.
I finally understand it. There's a part of Hypatia that she doesn't even know about. It's always there, riding along in her mind, takes over and forces her to use more of the original serum with some regularity.
I hope this works.
If I'm right, sends her on diabolical assignments. Hypatia is the one the newspapers are calling the Crown Killer. She leaves and comes back, leaving bloody footprints. But there's a cure, a counter serum. I'll try to administer it once I get my notes from the safe in disease treatment. Hello? Oh, Alexandria. I was just... No. It's you.
Yes, Vasco, my love. You were found out, and now we have some experiments to conduct. Come, I'll make you comfortable.
No!
I thought this was a pretty good twist. I can't remember when exactly I started figuring out, but that slow process of gradually getting to understand it and figure is a good feeling in games like this, I think. So once we have the cure, it's fairly easy to fight her if you manage to get a sneak up on her. She is very tough to fight normally. There's a lot of things she's immune to. But a successful drop attack is one thing that can work.
You're dead, aren't you? Isn't this fun? No, no, no! Not back to sleep! I won't go. I won't give it back!
Target rescued. Crown Killer.
Doctor,
Yes. I'm sorry. Something's not right with me. Maybe I contracted something working with infectious samples.
no, someone was poisoning you. You should be better now. I found some alchemical notes and made a counter serum.
Poisoning me?
Don't worry, I'm going to take care of it. If you need a place to lay low for a few days, come find us. I'm staying with an ally on a boat called the Dreadful Whale.
And so we've freed Alexander Hypatia and done what we came here to do. Though we don't have a lot of information except a name. And there's a way to find the code if somehow you don't manage to talk to her in time. You could just kill her too, of course. And now for something disturbing.
I come and I go, putting Hypatia to sleep as I want. But even when she's awake, I'm with her, looking out through her eyes. My cold, dry sister. She saves her love for the sooted workers, suffocating deep down in the mines. For the children in hovels at the edge of the city, cursed with short, nasty lives. And for Vasco, her trusted assistant, missing now for months. Wherever did he go, dear sister? I long to take him apart, to roll in the mess, running against his slippery
skull, driving myself against his red fever. In time, good Vasco. In time.
Hopefully the counter serum has entirely eliminated Grim Alex from being a part of Alexandria. So, I told you we were going to show off why we put the elevator up here, and that's exactly what we're going to do. You can also take this path up to it. You don't necessarily need to call it from here. But if you do, and you put it either on this floor or the floor below, you just need a certain height. You can cut the wires, or the cables, I suppose, which breaks through the wall to the basement. There's a clue you can find this on one of the signs. There's like a sign saying basement that has been scratched over because it's not really being used anymore. If you do this while there's still a whole bunch of guards around, they basically all know you're coming. They're all notified that, well, someone is causing trouble. So, I'm waiting for it until we've basically taken out all of them.
They'll need new boots after this.
And here we find a painting, and a rune, and some interesting letters. Veramore, if you might remember from the first one, is the name of Granny Rags. She was, at some point, in this asylum, I suppose you can call it. It's also a nice chunk of gold. And her diary. Which also, to me, indicates that the room where we found the Outsider Shrine was probably hers. All of it tends to tie together. It's rare that you find a completely random place where the shrine is. There's usually some sort of reason or another it is there. The rest of this little basement is empty, although there is some cool visual imagery with the lighting and the water. First time I went through this, I couldn't quite figure out how to get down, but in later playthroughs I saw the sign and started figuring out what to do. Once you're done, press the button and you're out. Other than that, there's another thing that's important to find in this level. This is basically, once I'm done with it, running around trying to find everything I missed. The main thing is a blueprint you can find in this little half office that's pretty ruined. Safe code is right there, 491. Because some of the other patients have things that are harder to quantify and classify. .491. And this is where we get the sleep dart formula, which I mentioned before, as well as a little bit of money. More than that, though, we found this grisly scene.
Someone got in the Crown Killer's way.
And this is part of the 3 clues towards the Crown Killer mystery that you can find in this level. Which you don't need to find, obviously. Now that you've done that, you just have to go to the watchtower. There's a couple of different ways you can go to. This is the obvious one. The door that opens straight up, but I prefer going here. This is right after listening to that audiograph of Grim Alex. Throwing glass is one of the most useful things to do in a low chaos or stealth playthrough.
Huh? Wait, I'll have a look over there. Be careful. What's going on here?
It's this limited distraction that doesn't bring all of them and only a few of them. It's perfect for splitting them up. So now wait for him to turn around. Drop assassination. Drop attack, I guess we're calling it. Put him in here, because why not? Threw that one a little bit further than I intended, but it's mostly fine. The difference between throwing and dropping is usually the distance. Now, there's obviously certain parts of the level I haven't shown because I've cut it out, but nothing really exciting. So for the final guy in our way, we put his head literally through the stone. And he can join the pile of his friends. Again, threw him a little bit too hard, and I suspect that he probably would have hurt himself quite badly. But at this point, the entire level is, well, that landing wasn't as smooth as I wanted it to be, but hey, there's a health elixir right here. At this point, Megan is here, and the entire level is pretty much sorted. There are no guards anywhere. So now we come into the choice of what exactly to spend all our runes on. Everything left from the previous level and all the ones found here puts us at 10 runes, which means we have quite a lot of options of exactly what to get. I do want to upgrade Blink further, but this is also the time for some other useful things. Generally, you have enough runes to max out a few of the bigger powers and then get a couple of few ones for the other ones. As you can see from the bone charms, I really only have one of the bone charms I really want to use for bone crafting, Swift Shadow. If I were to have Lucky Needle or Undertaker or Swift Stalker, Strong Arms, then I probably would have gone for it immediately. For now though, I'm going to save it. None of these are particularly something great I want to do, so I'm just going to go ahead and add Spiritual Sacrifice. And since I have some slots left over, Agile Recovery. The other one's not really that important, honestly. Swift Shadow is the one I want to trait synergize, I suppose we can call it. For the remaining runes, Dark Vision is very useful for a stealth playthrough, Bend Time as well. Wind Blast, not as much. Devouring Swarm is full-on lethal, obviously. I guess technically you can summon it just so you can possess a rat, but that seems like a waste of runes. So I'm gonna go for Dark Vision. The first one is useful just to be able to see their line of sight and so on, and so you don't run into guards. The second one, Greater Dark Vision, is for security systems and mostly used to find things. When you're going around trying to hunt, it's really useful. Next up, I'm gonna start leveling up Bend Time. That puts it at 0, and another 9 runes will max it out entirely, and at that point it is game-breakingly awesome. What does Dark Vision look like? Like this. It's a whole lot of running around, hearing that same pulsing noise over and over. Looking at things that light up. And picking up every little bit of coin and salt and jellied eels and everything. It's the type of thing you do when you're a completionist. You want to find absolutely everything you can find in the level and so on. Find all 2,000 coins. There's roughly 2,000 coins available on this level. I think I walk away with about 1,920 or something, so almost everything. A combination of the heart and the dark vision, and you see pretty much everything you need to see. And that's it for the Atomire Institute. We've cleaned the place out. Next up, Kira and Jindosh.
Can we leave this place yet? I don't like it. Ready now?
Yes. Let's head out for the dreadful whale.
What happened?
Hypatia was the crown killer.
That's impossible.
The Duke tricked her into injecting herself with a flawed version of her serum. It changed her, but there was an antidote, so she'll live. If she remembers the murders, she'll have to deal with that.
And Sokolov?
He's been moved to the house of a man named Kieran Jindosh.
The Duke's grand inventor. Supposedly brilliant.
Another genius. Just what we needed.